An island ruled by a cruel king, a maze that no one could escape, and a monster waiting at its heart. This is the story of Theseus and the Minotaur. Long ago, the mighty king Minos ruled the island of Crete from a great palace, and his power stretched across every sea. But within his own house hid a terrible secret. By a curse of the gods, a creature had been born there, half man and half bull. They called it the Minotaur. Ashamed, the king commanded his cleverest inventor, Daedalus, to build a prison like no other, the labyrinth, a maze of endless twisting passages. And deep at its very heart, where no one could ever find the way out again, he hid the monstrous Minotaur. So cunning was the maze that even Daedalus, who built it, could barely find his own way out, a secret that would one day cost him dearly. Now the city of Athens had lost a war to mighty Crete, and in his anger King Minos demanded a cruel and terrible price. Every 9 years, Athens had to send 7 young men and 7 young women across the sea to be lost forever inside the maze. None of them ever came back, and so all of Athens lived in sorrow and fear, dreading the day the black ship would sail again. But one year, a brave young prince named Theseus could bear it no longer. He vowed to sail with the tribute and face the monster himself. His father, old King Aegeus, begged him not to go. "Sail home under black sails if you fail," he said, "but raise white sails, so from afar I may know that you live." So Theseus crossed the sea to Crete, promising the frightened young Athenians that this time every one of them would come home. "I would rather fall fighting," he told them, "than live knowing I did nothing. Take heart, the monster will not have you." At last they reached Crete and the vast palace of Knossos, the grandest and most bewildering palace in all the world. King Minos looked down upon the young prince and laughed, certain the Minotaur would make a quick and easy end of him. But the king's daughter, Princess Ariadne, saw the brave prince, and in that moment she longed to help him. In secret, she went to Daedalus, the maze's own maker, and pleaded with him for a way to defeat the labyrinth. That night, Ariadne came to Theseus and pressed into his hands a simple ball of thread, along with a clever plan to use it. At the mouth of the maze, Theseus tied one end of the thread to the doorway, drew his sword, and stepped alone into the dark. Down he crept, through cold and twisting tunnels, unwinding the thread behind him with every careful step. Then, from somewhere deep in the blackness ahead, there came a low and terrible roar. He turned one final corner, and there, at the very heart of the labyrinth, stood the monstrous Minotaur. The beast charged with a thunderous bellow, and a furious battle began, the hero against the monster in the dark. But Theseus was brave and quick, and with one last mighty blow, he defeated the dreaded Minotaur at last. He found the trembling young Athenians who were still trapped inside and swore to lead every one of them to freedom. Winding up Ariadne's thread, Theseus traced the one true path back out of the maze that had trapped so many before. Under cover of night, they fled to their ship with Ariadne and slipped away from Crete before the king could wake. By the time King Minos found them gone, Theseus and his friends were already far across the moonlit sea. They paused to rest on the island of Naxos, and there, by a strange twist of fate, Ariadne was parted from Theseus, and a kind god found her. But in his grief and weariness, Theseus forgot the most important promise of all. High above him, the sails still flew black. Far away in Athens, old King Aegeus climbed the cliffs each day, watching the sea, longing for the first sight of his son's return. And when at last he saw black sails upon the water, his heart broke in two, for he believed his beloved son was dead. In his sorrow he fell into the waters far below, and from that day to this, that sea has been called the Aegean in his memory. Theseus returned home a hero, though heavy with grief. In time he became a wise and beloved king of Athens. And the tale of the prince who walked into the maze and slew the monster was told and retold for thousands of years, all the way down to you. If you enjoyed this story, subscribe and follow for more tales from ancient Greece. Next time, a father, wings of wax, and the boy who flew too close to the sun.